My life is good. R.I.P was hood. I might get to it. Not out the woods, so bro, I got to do it. Be a monster. That's why my mantra.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We're going to talk about Crown Jewel, do predictions, but we're also going to talk about the releases from WWE, or the departures, however you choose to dress it up. So, SmackDown, we're not going to do a full SmackDown review. We're just going to mix that into our Crown Jewel predictions. So, first, let's talk about the releases. There's only 3. Baron Corbin, Tegan Nox, and Indy Hartwell. None of whom I am a fan of. I still see people making excuses for Tegan Nox, saying that she never got a chance. Every chance she had, she fell apart. I mean, when you built like a sandcastle, there ain't much else anybody can do. I know that she says she's been medically cleared for a while. They just haven't been using her. But what can she do? She's going to go out. She gets no reaction whatsoever. Remember, she clamored for that big match with Becky Lynch that everybody farted on and went to the bathroom and paid her no mind. Just no attention whatsoever. I know that a lot of people like her because she was an indie wrestler, and they like her because she's a Twitch streamer. But not everything is for everybody. I don't think this was for her. Go to TNA and prove me wrong. Don't even waste your time going to AEW. It's a waste of time. You're just going to get shoved on Ring of Honor or Rampage. Go to TNA and prove me wrong. TNA has, is going to end up having a real spot open with Jordan Grace leaves. So you're going to have plenty of opportunity to be a top star and get focused on and everything. Go ahead, go to TNA. Same thing to Indy Hartwell. Not a big fan of Indy Hartwell either. Indy Hartwell won the NXT Women's title and gave it up just to go to the main roster, just to promptly do nothing. The irony is that she was actually on SmackDown. They lost the match. She didn't get pinned, but they lost the match that she was in. But her final match aired the day she got released. She played a little bit of a jokey joke on everybody by acting like she learned of getting released online, which, they're not going to do that. Not this era, not this this wrestler-friendly era of Triple H releasing people, over the internet. That's not going to happen. But I didn't see much there with Indy Hartwell either. I know she's also very likable. People enjoyed her. I thought she was funny when she was doing stuff with Dexter Lumis. I thought the wedding was tremendous, but that's when she peaked. There was nothing really after that for her to do, and there wasn't really much before that for her to do. She's kind of awkward and lanky, and she can't really talk. There was just nothing that stood out about her. I mean, it's just not a big deal. Baron Corbin is an interesting case because this guy has been in WWE a really long time. I'm not sure if it's been 10 years, but if it's not, it's pretty close. And then obviously Baron Corbin was one of those really high-level utility players that Vince liked. He's most notably known for being Kurt Angle's final opponent, which of course still rubs people the wrong way to this day. But Baron Corbin kind of reinvigorated himself on NXT. Believe it or not, actually got some people behind him. And it was sad to see this happen, but I'm not surprised. He wasn't featured on the show. The only idea they had for him was to put him in an Ebony and Ivory tag team with Apollo Crews. Now, that sucks. But apparently it's only these 3 so far. Baron Corbin was never going to get much motion on the main roster anyway. He wasn't getting much motion on NXT either, but it just is what it is. Sometimes your run is over, and I can respect that the run is over for Baron Corbin. But I expect there to be more of these in the future. Now they're trying to say these people were not released, that they basically were told that WWE will not be negotiating with them further, which sounds like bullshit because Tegan Knox basically says that she'll be a free agent in 90 days. Why would there be a 90-day rule if her contract is going to expire? Then she could just do whatever she wants because her contract is going to expire. Clearly, she's being fired, right? I know they're trying to massage the language on this thing, but she's being fired. All of these chicks are all of these people are being fired. And if it's 3 now, of course, now that they're doing releases, here's the thing, man. I will say this one thing. I'm pretty much one of the cold corporate types. It's November the 1st. It's kind of the holiday season, kind of. It's a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, over a month before Christmas, so it's not like you're firing people over Christmas. But it's a couple weeks before Thanksgiving. I mean, you could have let them go 2 weeks ago, So it's like, who else is on the list? And whenever people start getting released, you start looking around. You start looking at Apollo Crews. You start looking at, Akira Tozawa, even though he's like one of the featured guys on Raw for some reason. People are looking at Shinsuke Nakamura. People are looking at Giovanni Vinci. People are like, okay, these folks there's no grass underneath their feet. They can go. And I have not said a name yet that would disturb me if they were released, Again, WWE tried to be super fan friendly by not releasing talent, but it's inevitable. You have to. You just have to choose wisely who you release. At this point, it's not that big a deal. Okay, so let's just discuss Crown Jewel. Now, according to Wikipedia, the 7th match on the show, which would be the main event, and it should be, the Bloodline War. Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. Now, I don't know if that's the official team of Solo's Bloodline, or we call it Bloodline Wolfpack. I don't know if that's the official team, but I would imagine so. I don't think you would put Tonga Loa out there. Do the Arabs really deserve to see Tonga Loa? What did they do that you would, push Tonga Loa on them? Now, there was 2 segments on SmackDown that featured the Bloodline, the reunion of the OG Bloodline, and Solo basically explaining his own action. Even not really explaining, kind of like massaging. Like, I didn't really do anything wrong. So, I'm not going to recap the Roman Jey Uso segment. I'm just going to say this. I did not like that Jey was the one who approached Roman and said, let's get the band back together. I didn't like that. It should have been the other way around. I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that Roman needed to humble himself and go to Jey and ask for help. That would have been the manly thing to do. It would have taken a little bit of the edge off of his character, which I know that's what they didn't want to do. But it would have helped with some level of catharsis when it comes to Jey Uso, get his character over by saying, all right, now Roman's coming to you man to man saying that I need you. Now it's Jey going to Roman. Jey saying, the only reason I'm getting involved is to get revenge on Solo. And from the way that the thing was written, and performed, they knew about the 6-man tag before the show aired. So it's like they were booked for the 6-man tag, and now they got to make peace so that they won't lose the 6-man tag. That's kind of how it was put together. I didn't really care for that. Again, I wish it was Roman that was like, we're equals now. You have done stuff on your own, and I need you, And then for Jey to say, look, no more right-hand man, any disrespect, I'm out. Or, any disrespect, I'm going to knock you on your ass, something. But the crowd, when Roman said yeet, they exploded because, Roman's been no yeet for such a long time. The crowd wanted them to hug. They didn't hug, but they put the ones up and they went crazy for that. Solo, cut his promo later saying, you know, everybody wants him to be the bad guy, but how is he the bad guy? Is he the bad guy for leaving and getting a family that loved him, a family that appreciated him, you know, that would never betray him? And then, of course, you know, Roman's a betrayer, the manipulator, etc. Is he the bad guy for, what was the other line he said? Bad guy for making tribal chief when his brothers didn't? You know, like, there was, you know, him basically saying, like, what makes me, you know, worse than these guys? Which is a good question. What does make him worse? But clearly Solo is trying to rationalize, you know, his actions. Now, in terms of who wins and who loses, clearly, if Tama Tonga is in this match, he's going to lose. If Tonga Loa is in this match, he's certainly going to lose. But they do love pinning Solo. So I definitely think the OG bloodline has to win. You can have them get jumped after the match and then do the big return to Sami Zayn or something like that here. This might be a good opportunity to debut Hikuleo. So if you want to have Solo's bloodline win, for starters, you got to pin Jimmy, because Jimmy's the most beatable of the three on that side. And then you got to have the numeric advantage. They already got 4 of them. Add a 5th one. And then, you know, post-match beatdown or whatever. But depending on what you do is how this match should either be the opener or should be the main event. From looking at this card of 7 matches, the show's probably going to be 4 hours. So maybe you put Roman out there first and Roman's team loses because, you know, there's another new member to their bloodline and they got jumped again, and now they need to bring the full team back together for Survivor Series. That could be an interesting thing for them to do. But if Roman's team is going to lose, they should probably go on first. If they're going to win, they should close the show. And I'm 100% in favor of, you know, Roman's main eventing the show. I don't see why you would. You know, why you wouldn't. Second match, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair defend the women's tag team titles versus Damage Control, The Metaphor, and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Fatal 4-way match. So they had a fatal 4-way match. It was actually pretty damn good on SmackDown that Io Sky won because she never ever loses. She only loses in tag team matches. It was a solid enough match. Lash Legend has really come along quite a bit. Now, in this fatal 4-way, it's a good way to take the belts off the Twin Towers without them losing. But where do you move the belts if you were going to move them? Do you move them back to Damage Control? Because it seemed like the Damage Control just lost them. You know, why would you do that? Would you move them to the Metaphor, who's gotten a pretty good push lately? That would be a good way to launch them on the main roster. But is that really what they want to do? And Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, they basically have no chance. They're not going to get the push. You know, so I think that the Twin Towers go over and they win the match. I don't know. I'm thinking, and it seems that there's other people who have picked up on it, that is going to be Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan eventually. Especially since Rhea Ripley is down for a while. I think she's going to be out, they said, for a couple of weeks. So Liv's going to have a free month. You could slide a tag team feud in there for a short time. And I actually don't hate that idea. So I fully expect probably Piper Niven and Chelsea Green to take the fall here for Jade and Bianca. And then for Jade and Bianca to move on to maybe Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for a short time. And who knows, maybe Raquel and Liv will actually win the belts. You know, so Liv can have 2 belts, you know, to kind of sustain her push. But I don't know if that'll actually occur, you know. But let's say if I was willing to accept a surprise, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson winning would be a great surprise. And I can't complain all about that. Match 3, LA Knight versus Andrade and Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. Look, LA Knight hasn't had a really good United States Championship run. Nobody's had a really good title run in WWE since Triple H took over. He's just been holding the belt and having random matches. If you're going to look for who could do the most for the title going forward, Carmelo Hayes is the answer. He needs something in order to stay relevant on this show. Andrade is probably, a great person to put the belt on if you're going to have work rate matches in the mid card. But are people really going to care about those matches or what? And how is that going to shake out? And LA Knight remains popular despite the fact that he doesn't do anything. I think because you don't really have much going with LA Knight, you switch the title. And maybe you have Carmelo pin Andrade or Andrade pin Carmelo. I'm going to go with Melo pinning Andrade and stealing the United States title and putting LA Knight back in the chase position. What you could also do, if you are so inclined, is move LA Knight to the main event. And so he gets to work heel like he wants to, but he gets to work heel against Cody. And I actually like that idea. I think it's a better use for LA Knight because he got the big pop of winning the U.S. title, but now it's time for more. I mean, Cody needs something, and he needs somebody with some charisma to work with until the bloodline thing is ready to migrate itself back over to what he's doing and energize his stuff. But I would go with Carmelo pinning Andrade, and then I would move LA Knight over to Cody. So next, which we matched for, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens sent a car video saying that he never meant to hurt Randy, but now he's going to. He's going to hurt Randy bad. He's going to do bad things to Randy Orton. And then he attacked him after the main event, after Ludwig Kaiser took the pin that everybody knew he was going to take, which made that match a complete yawn. They still trying to make this goof a legitimate threat. It's like Randy's got 4 inches on him, and it's amazing what they try to get away with. Like, you don't have a television. Maybe you could get away with Kevin Owens is scary if you were listening to this on the radio. Like if you listen to, Pat Summerall or something, this guy, you listen to somebody talk about Kevin Owens, he might be able to scare you. But when you look at him, he looks like a suburban dad just in line at Walmart. Like, come on, why are we scared of this man? Randy kicked this guy's head off. Are you serious? This is, of course, just a bump in the road to Kevin Owens. He's probably going to win this match, write Randy Orton off TV for a little while. And more than likely, he's going to be the one that's going to move up to wrestle Cody. Okay. There's now some discussions that Kevin Owens is going to stick around and that he's not going to be leaving, going to AEW. And I say we can't win them all. Marco Stunt retired. My God. I popped champagne like I won a championship game. And then, Indy Hartwell got fired. I was eating cupcakes. I was just grooving. What was that other girl? Tegan Knox, she got fired. I was like, oh my God. I almost proposed. But we can't win them all. We just can't. We got to have a losing streak somewhere. So I guess Kevin Owens sticking around. It is what it is. So it's unfortunate. Next match. This is match 5? Okay. Seth freaking Rollins versus Bronson Reed. I expect Seth Rollins to win this match, but Bronson Reed should win this match. Now, I expect Seth Rollins to win this match because Gunther needs opponents. And Bronson Reed would be a good opponent for Gunther, but he's a heel. And Gunther's also a heel. And they don't seem to really be pushing anybody to be a top star on Raw that Gunther could fight. Yes, they're playing games with Damian Priest, but I think, and what keeps me from saying maybe this ought to be Seth Rollins is, the CM Punk option, because we don't know what Punk is going to do at Survivor Series, because it could very well end up being Punk versus Gunther at Survivor Series. That's sort of the top draw for that show. And Rollins just doesn't need to win this match, and Bronson Reed does. At the same time, though, I don't really want to see Thick Boys succeed. Choices, just terrible choices. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins winning. I just don't think that Triple H cares that much about Bronson Reed. He's sort of a monster of the week. Just like when Seth Rollins wrestled Omos, it didn't mean anything. It just was, get Seth a quality win. So I guess it's going to be the same thing here. But also they did have a pretty good excuse if Seth was going to lose. But I'm going to go with Seth winning, because why not? The women's world champion versus the women's WWE champion for the women's crown jewel championship. And I heard they're giving away rings now. A lot of the AEW fans are like, they're stealing the Dynamite Diamond Ring idea. I did see that. I saw that they were like, they're stealing the Dynamite Diamond Ring. They're stealing the Dynamite Diamond Ring idea from AEW. I see you're just taking good ideas from everyone. What do you mean? What do you mean exactly, sir? They've done that same match 3 times, and I think the same person has won 3 times. And I don't even think MJF has 3 different Dynamite rings. But I don't know. I don't care. My thing is, if you have the big stupid gaudy belt, why do you need a ring too? Why? What is the ring for? What is the ring for? In any event, this match needs Tiffany Stratton to cash in. Tiffany Stratton walked to the ring with all kinds of attitude on SmackDown, basically saying she can cash in on either one of them, even though Nia Jax was kind of like, what? And she was like, oh, I haven't made up my mind yet. Then she wrestled Liv Morgan and lost, because why not? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I guess Liv is the women's champion, so it's not that bad, but it's still not that good. She shouldn't even been in this match. But the idea that Tiffany Stratton, could beat Liv Morgan and steal Dominic Mysterio, which was a great shot. Dominic, was like, his facial expressions in that moment, and when his eyes cut to Liv, and he was like, that was great. He sold that fantastically. When she was like, if I take your title, does he come with me? I need a little dirty in my life. That was legit. That was pretty good. Clearly, they're setting up for Tiffany to cash in the Money in the Bank. The thing is she going to cash in the middle of the match or after the match? I think that she should cash in after the match. And I definitely think she should cash in on Nia Jax. I don't think Liv Morgan should lose the belt yet. I think that you've already set that up, that she's probably going to end up losing the belt to Rhea. Rhea's gone for a while. You can give her other things to do. Like, there's other people on Raw for her to feud with. She should be feuding with those people. If you want to put her in the tag team feud with Bianca and Jade, that's fine. But there's other people for her to feud with. Now they have built up Nia Jax and Naomi. And I guess you could go there. So if you don't want to have Tiffany Stratton cash in and win the belt, instead you have her get knocked off the apron or something. Okay. But I still think that ultimately Liv Morgan is going to win this match and be the Crown Jewel Women's Champion. Now, the reason I think that is because of all the Judgment Day stuff. There's going to be Dominic Mysterio outside the ring. And all Nia Jax has is Tiffany Stratton, who's going to be trying to cash in the Money in the Bank. So, I don't see Tiffany actually cashing in, even though it would be great if she did. I think that it's probably just going to be some chicanery, especially since Nia Jax has crushed Liv Morgan twice. It's going to be some chicanery in which Nia Jax loses to Liv Morgan. Likely it's going to be something where she can blame Tiffany Stratton, but ultimately they've already set up Naomi and Nia Jax, so Nia Jax is not going to lose the belt. Liv Morgan is not going to lose the belt because she's still in her feud with Rhea, so it's not going to happen no time soon. At least I don't think so. It ain't looking like it's going to. Now, could they easily pivot Naomi to Tiffany because they have had matches before? Yes, they could easily do that. That makes it somewhat logical that you could, move the belt just a shade to Tiffany Stratton, but they're not going to do that. So there's that. And plus, I've already said that I think Jade Cargill is going to end up being the one that beat beat Nia Jax for the belt. I think they're just kind of setting her up as being, the superhero, because they're not beating Jade, they're beating Bianca to death. The men's main event for the World Championship, the World Champion versus the WWE Champion. Why do they keep calling him the undisputed WWE Champion? I don't understand that appellation. It's clearly a dispute because there's a World Heavyweight Champion. I don't really care who wins this match. I'm not even going to hold you up. This match should probably go on third. As much as I like both guys, I do like Cody and I do like Gunther. To me, this doesn't mean anything. Gunther doesn't have any opponents. Cody has one opponent that's up and coming, and that's Kevin Owens. But he really doesn't have any chasers in either division. I guess because Cody is considered a higher level champion, and he will be considered the higher level champion whether he wins or loses. Gunther could win, and that could raise his profile even higher so that he can fight a guy like a CM Punk in the main event of like Survivor Series or something. At the same time, though, Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns. So you do give characters wins and losses in order to help them build other characters. So do you take the 4 years that Roman was unbeaten, have him lose to Cody, just for Cody to drop one to Gunther, which would make Gunther, especially if it's a clean loss, Gunther would do great. But I don't know if that's a smart decision. I don't think that the whole crown jewel concept is smart, if we're being honest. It derails the titles that you're trying to build. And it, derails the feuds and things that you're trying to build too. So I don't think this whole thing, and I don't think it's going to last very long, if we're being honest. I wouldn't be surprised if they probably don't do this thing one more time and then that's it. So I'm going to suggest, and since they have already told us that it must be a winner, there's going to be a definitive winner, I'm going to go with Cody winning. I just think that Cody's a politician, and I don't think that he's going to, be willing to cough up a loss to Gunther. I just don't see that. And then you could always have Gunther bounce back by beating Phil at Survivor Series or something, or maybe Damian Priest or something. But you're going to, if Gunther loses, solidify that belt as the Intercontinental Championship to the second power. That's pretty much what it is. That's what most people think it is anyway. Which is unfortunate because the Intercontinental Championship is not featured on this show, and it should be. So. That's it for Crown Jewel. So let's go through what I got. I got Cody Rhodes defeating Gunther. I got Liv Morgan defeating Nia Jax, both of them to win their Crown Jewel championships. I got Seth Rollins defeating Bronson Reed. Kevin Owens defeating Randy Orton. Carmelo Hayes winning the United States title. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair winning their Fatal 4-Way. And Roman Reigns and the Usos losing to Solo Sikoa and his bloodline. Because I think the heels have to win in order to keep the momentum for Survivor Series. Where they're going to end up having maybe War Games or maybe hopefully a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you guys later. What are you guys going to eat for WWE Crown Jewel? It's in the middle of the day. So I wanted some Chinese food, which is like, usually I get the sesame chicken plate, which comes with like a quart of rice. I would love to eat that. It'd be 1 o'clock in the afternoon though. And then what the hell am I going to eat for dinner? Eat some of it and then eat the rest later. Maybe I'll get a shawarma. I did nachos for NXT, so I can't do nachos again. So maybe I'll do a shawarma. Shawarma ain't never hurt nobody. Ain't never killed nobody. And you never really can have too much in the way of nachos, but maybe I'll do a shawarma for this thing. But let me know what you guys are going to eat in the comment section below. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Tell me what's worse than learning all that you led to believe was all horse crap. They distort, so question as if you worship.